And lady from California is recognized for such time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to begin by thanking the chairman of our subcommittee, Mr. Boucher, for his consistent support and cooperation to help bring the bill through the committee. I doubt that we would be here today were it not for that. And I want to recognize and thank the ranking member of our subcommittee for the work that he has put into this as well, and the suggestions that he made in order to bolster the bill and to make it imminently. I also want to thank, of course, the chairman of the full committee, Mr. Waxman, for his support. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to ask my colleagues to vote in favor of this bill, which is designed to eliminate the ear-splitting levels of television advertisements and return control of television sound modulation to the American consumer. I first introduced the Commercial Advertisement Loudness Mitigation Act, called the CALM Act, more than 3 years ago. This is something that many of our constituents now refer to in their shorthand, the loud commercial law. And I have heard loud and clear from people across the country. So we have consumers across the country that are with us and would like to see this accomplished. The premise of the bill then, as now, was really simple. And in an era of 1,000 or 1,800 page bills, this is a two-page bill. And it is to make the volume of commercials and programming uniform so that consumers control the sound. The problem has existed for more than 50 years, 50 years, when television advertisers first realized that consumers often left the room when commercials were playing. They used the loud commercials as a gimmick to grab the attention of consumers, even as they moved to other parts of their home. But for anyone who can't get to the mute button fast enough, we know that we are all subjected to blasting ads. For those with sensory difficulties, the loud commercials are more than just an annoyance. Sound spikes can harm hearing, and sometimes they are painfully loud. This issue, as my colleagues have referenced, is also one of the top complaints, consistently one of the top complaints from consumers across the country to the Federal Communications Commission. The bill is going to bring a measure of relief to the American consumer. It's also, I think, an important step in identifying the need to make broadcasters and video providers responsible for answering to consumers at the most basic level. I created this bill taking into account the economic health of licensees and the importance of smaller stations and providers. The Advanced Television Systems Committee, or the ATSC, a body that sets technical standards for digital television, has developed a solution to the problem of the varied volume between commercials and programming with one stream that keeps the volume uniform. The bill directs the FCC to adopt these engineering standards as mandatory rules within 1 year. These standards were not in the works until we introduced this legislation in the last Congress. So I'm pleased to have encouraged the industry to find the answer to this problem so we don't have to wait another 50 years for a solution. I look forward to voluntary and immediate adoption of the standards by broadcasters, cable, satellite, and all multi-channel program providers. But the bill exists because we know that voluntary compliance or adherence to consumer needs has been a failure, and we need to assure enforcement to protect the rights of consumers. The bill also requires cable and satellite operators to install the engineering fix necessary to ensure that the sound is modulated. The bill is not inflexible. It heeds the call by industry for a compliance grace period. Those affected, and I think it's very reasonable, will have 1 year after the FCC adopts the rule for purchase and installation of the ATSC standard-based equipment, and the FCC may grant up to 2 successive 1-year waivers, financial hardship. Small stations and cable operators certainly should be able to comply within 3 years, plus the amount of time it takes the FCC to adopt and release the rules. Now, I've read the minority comments that have been filed relative to the bill. And I want to answer directly the concerns of some of my colleagues about the necessity of the bill, so I want to reiterate the following. First, I think the bill is necessary because we need a mandatory enforcement tool, and I stated that earlier. Voluntarism hasn't worked for 50 years. Second, the bill makes the ATSC standards applicable to all FCC licensees, and that includes satellite and cable providers as well as broadcasters. The voluntary standards, as written, only apply to broadcasters. Thirdly, the bill matters to our constituents, and I think that that's what really matters the most, and it stands as proof that Congress can listen to their concerns. Fourthly, it's been said that Congress has better things to do. I have never suggested that this solves the great challenges that face our country today. As I said, it's a two-page bill, but it is something that's been left unattended to for a half a century, and I think the time has come that we end the practice of consumers being blasted out of their seats and when they're listening to their favorite programming. So the technical fix is long overdue, and under the CALM Act, as amended, consumers will be in the driver's seat. I look forward to the passage of this bill, and most importantly, so do millions of our other consumers and our constituents across the country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back.